Hello, my friends! My name is Lauren and this is Sam. Today I'm making the resin video. This is the video everyone's been asking for since I posted about my fabulous MXM resin necklace, the most expensive necklace in the world. Resin, asterisk. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so for the first part of this video, here's what we need. It's a lot of stuff. I made an Amazon shopping list that has like pretty much all the things you're gonna need. So if you didn't already get that stuff, go ahead and check it out. There's a link is on my profile page and you can see the supplies that you need. You probably already have some of them. So obviously the most important thing is this UV resin. I'm using UV cured resin. That's really important. So I'm gonna need a UV lamp. Like I said, if you already do gel nails, you probably have like a lot of this stuff already. So I guess like technically you could use top coat, but I don't recommend like wearing that like as jewelry or something. I just don't know if it's safe to have like gel like just contact with your skin, and even when you coat it, I don't know. So just get some like nice resin like this. And then I also bought a bunch of little molds, and you can get tons of them and like whatever. So I just picked these little round ones. They seem to be like the right size for stamping. Then I have just sort of like my usual suspects of nail stamping supplies. So let me put these aside for now. And I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna do here. So if you saw my video on making these necklaces, that's probably why you're here. If you didn't watch that, please go watch it. And it's only a few minutes long, so go and look and come back. But when you saw that video, you might have noticed that this one looked kind of crappy. Like, it honestly looks okay from a distance, but when I was doing that macro shot of it, I was like, woof. So I'm gonna redo this one. And so the reason why I really like these little charms, and the reason why I like nail stamping in general, like the reason why I pulled the trigger on this as a hobby, was because I just love that layered floating look. I love how the stamp makes sort of a shadow underneath, and it's just, it's so satisfying. I love it. And so with these charms, you get so much depth because it's much, much thicker than what you can put on a nail. So anyway, that's my thinking behind these. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of this resin. It's also a really good idea to wear gloves, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm just gonna pour out a little bit of resin like that. I just want to cover the bottom of my mold. And you can see there's like a whole bunch of bubbles and stuff in there. Oh no, that's okay. I guess I did forget to add a couple things onto my little table here. This is a little stylus. You can use an orange stick. That way you can just toss it. So I can pop those big bubbles. And then I'm just gonna kind of like gently push this resin to the side walls of this mold. And if I don't have enough to kind of comfortably cover it, I'll just add a little more. This is creating the platform for our charm. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get it down over there. And this has a little bit of a lip on this mold, so I'm just gonna kind of move any like bubbles and make sure the resin is touching the entire mold. Like that. If I got a little too much in there, that's fine. I can just wipe it off. So one reason why some of the earlier charms that I made look a little crappy is because I just taught myself how to do this. And like I've seen videos online, but I just like to raw dog stuff. It's just my style. So I like to learn on my own. So it took me a long time to figure this out. But I just like to take this lighter, and I don't know if you can see, but there's very, very small bubbles in the resin. See how there's some tiny bubbles in there? I'm just gonna take this lighter, and then I'm just gonna like kind of wave it around the top there, and then that should pop all those bubbles. If there's still bubbles in there after you do that, just take your stylus and kind of bring them to the surface a little more, and then you can burn them off again. So that's how you clear out the bubbles. I'm gonna cure it for the 99 seconds just to make sure it's like totally dry. While I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna plan my design here. So here's the plates, MXM 023 and 024. This is one of the polishes that came with it, Skin Deep. I don't remember the other polish. I think it was red, but at the time I only had the express kit. So I think it was red, but I'm using Red Hot. That's the colors that I'm gonna try to work with. And I pulled out some like little gem inclusions just to make it a little more interesting. Let's see what it looked like before. I don't think, oh yeah, I put like some pink gems in there. So I really recommend using some old stampers that you have, some stampers that have like tears and things in them, just like your worst stampers basically that will still pick up because they're gonna get, if they're not ruined when you start, they will be ruined when you are over, when you're done. Oh my God, can't talk. Okay, so here's our little disc, very, very cool. And because it was kind of like that skin deep color, I chose this Burano, I don't know what color this is. It's expired. So anyway, I'm just gonna take, this is like a reflective gel, and I'm only using these because like I had a set of these and I just started using them with the charms, and I just wanted them to all look kind of cohesive. So for me personally, I just use reflective glitter on all of them, but you can use any kind of gel you want. And honestly, you can use regular polish too, but you're gonna have to take multiple days to make this, because if you put regular polish in here and then you put gel on top of it or resin on top of it and cure it, it's just never gonna dry. So you're gonna have to let it dry like overnight. Make sure it's like 1000% dry. And then you can go ahead and cover it with the resin. So if you want to use regular polish, don't let it discourage you. It's just going to take a little longer. I'm just going to, I can't really tell if there's bubbles in this or not. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go ahead and just make sure like this looks a little even around the edges. Like that. And then I'm going to cure that for another 60. Okie dokie. There's a little bit of like an inhibition layer on this gel, and to be honest with you, I don't really know if it matters if you take it off or not, but I take it off. I just put a little alcohol on like a pad or use an alcohol swab. And then I'm going to cover that with one more layer of resin, and this layer can be a little thinner. So yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of pushing it to the edge because I don't want any like gaps or like chunks taken out. That was part of the problem with this older one. So I don't see any bubbles, but I'm gonna do that anyway, because sometimes you just don't see them until the end. And then it's way too late. So instead of just straight up curing that, I'm gonna add some little charms in here. Last time I added pink. I guess I'll do it again. So I don't know, I'm just kind of sticking those on there randomly. And then I'll cure it for another 60. While I'm doing that, I might as well get some reverse stamping out of the way. I liked the little heart thing again. Where is that? I'm blind. There it is. Be mine. Be blind. Looks good. Very cute. Cool. So originally I had put the background as one of these, so I think I'm gonna do that again. Taking Skin Deep, and I think I'll do the same thing. And so these little like these, I can't think of what it's called, but this rectangle of design, it's a little too narrow for these charms, so I'm actually gonna do this twice. But go ahead and put your stamper down onto the charm and press it down. If it helps to take off the little holder, then do that. So it really helps to just press down this squishy part so you're making contact with the whole thing. So see? And now I'll fill out the rest of it. It does help if your stamper is assembled before you stamp it. And honestly, like, it's really hard to see these unless you're like right up close to them, so I'm not really too concerned about that matching exactly. Like, see what I mean? Okay, so now I'm just gonna cover that with another layer of resin, another thin layer. So resin and gel does not smudge stamping. I don't know why, but it doesn't. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, looking good. I'm gonna color this in real quickly. So like when you do the reverse stamping and then you put it on here, yeah, it's gonna be wet. If your reverse stamping is thick, obviously you might need to let it dry for a little bit longer before you coat it. But to be honest with you, if it's thin like this and you coat it after a couple minutes, it's fine. I don't know like how it'll look a year from now or whatever, but it seems fine. But yeah, like I said, I'm not like putting it on there while it's wet. I'm gonna let it dry. I probably should have done that a little earlier, but I always get kind of like, even when I have a plan on how to make these videos, I'm always like, like I brought out this brush and then I ended up grabbing this one. So I don't know. It's just that like force of habit stuff, I guess. So I will put that aside and let that dry. And I wanted to add these little birds, the swallows, because I also have a swallow tattoo. So original, I know. There's a big hair on that brush. This brush sucks. Why don't I use the brush I originally took out? Lauren? So like as far as the dry time goes, I do recommend using stamping polish just because it dries so much faster. So you kind of get this all done. Oh, my apologies. This is blue glue. And I'm gonna use, this is new, it's called Renew. Okay, now that that's drying, let's place the heart and put it in the center. Well, actually, I'm gonna put it a little lower down. And I don't like that little spot. So yeah, I'm gonna put this a little lower down, like that. And I really want that little asterisk on there, but it's not wanting to stick. That's just because the polish dried to the stamper. So I'm just gonna take a little sticky base here and paint it right on top of my image. I'm gonna let that dry too. So I'll put it there. Cute. And you guessed it, I'm gonna put a little more resin on there, just a little. And yeah, I did, you know, that polish is a little wet, just a little, so I'm gonna try to avoid scratching that particular area. But yeah, should be fine to put on top. Time to add our birds. And like now I can decide if I want to put anything else on here, because once I put my next layer on, it's going to be full. So if I want to put anything else on, now is my last layer. I was thinking maybe like flames or something, but maybe it's just too much. So I'll just stop there and I'll top it again. And this one you can be a little more generous on because you want to create some surface tension. So it's like a little convex. I always get those confused. Yeah, convex is like this and concave is like this, right? Or is it the other way around? Anyway, I wanted to have some height. Looks great. And for the last cure, I'm gonna just cure it as long as I can in here. And when that's all cured, I'm gonna pop it out of here. And I'm gonna avoid touching the bottom because it's usually still a little bit uncured on the bottom. So let's do that. And yeah, we got these raggedy edges on there. There's a few ways you can deal with it. These scissors are pretty cool. And then I just take a file and get all that other stuff off of there. So there's the charm finished curing. I love seeing how it all floats on there. It's so cool. All right, so here's what we need to do to finish this. We're gonna need some packing tape, some clear glaze, whatever kind you've got. I like this Krylon triple thick, and another little stylus that you don't mind getting a little gunky, a piece of cardboard, and your sanding sheets. This one starts at 240, 600, 1000, 2000. And I recommend having the 3 to 5,000 as well. But if you have the spray, I've noticed you can get away with not having to sand down that much. So I'm just going to show you how to do this part. All right, so this is wet sanding. So I'm going to get the paper wet. I'm going to take it on my 240 sandpaper here, my roughest one. And I'm basically just getting rid of that little nubby thing there. So I'm gonna do that until it's flat. Let's move on to the 600. Let me get that wet too. So I'm just checking it every once in a while to see how flat it's looking. And because those edges are rough, I'm also just gonna kind of get those sanded down as well. So that's my pass with the 600. This is a 1000 grit. That's the pass with the 1000. You can see how it's kind of getting more clear. If you continue to sand it, it will eventually become very shiny again. But like I said, I'm just gonna clear coat it. And that's the pass with the 2000. So yeah, you could keep going, but I'm just gonna stop here. So make sure it's dry. Make sure there's no water on it or anything after all that wet sanding. Now I'm gonna take a piece of this Scotch tape, packing tape, and I'm gonna put my charm on it. So the bottom is on the tape. Just get it on there real good. Then you can go ahead and like unstickify this so you can handle it. So I'll put that on my cardboard and we'll go outside. I'll just kind of make sure it's got a spray on there. And then I'm just gonna give a healthy top coat to this. And this does make a lot of bubbles, so I just liked my stylus here and then kind of tap out any of the big ones. The little ones kind of vanish on their own, but you can kind of look at it in the light and see where the problems are. And then, yeah, I just tap them out. I did try the lighter trick with this. Do not, because this is really flammable and it will just burst into flames and it won't even pop the bubbles. Don't ask me how I know, because you already know. So yeah, like I said, a lot of these bubbles will kind of come out on their own as this dries. But you got to do it while it's still wet, because this actually does dry pretty quickly. Like if I leave this for an hour, I can pretty much be done with it. So I'm turning it to see if I've missed any spots, which I did. Okay, so that's as good as it's gonna get for me. Let's go back inside. Our charm is dry enough. I'm just gonna peel it off of there. And there's always like a little gummy stuff here just from the spray. So you can just wipe it off with a little bit of alcohol and it kind of just gums up there. But honestly, I usually just scrape it off. Very elegant over here. I just want to make sure my little hole here is clear. And then I'm gonna use these. You can get these on Amazon, of course. I think I put them in my shop as well for these little jump rings and stuff. I'm gonna replace the charm that's on my necklace already. Does it look any better? I mean, it's better. They're all a little janky, you know. It's better. Oh no. I'm happy I redid it though. So all I do is just fit it on this little jump ring. Ta-da! Here's some of the earrings and stuff I've made for my store. So these are all for sale right now in my shop, and probably be putting more in there soon. So yeah, they're super fun to make. So that's it. Thank you for watching, my friends. I hope that was helpful. If you decide to make something, I would love to see it. You can either DM me on Instagram, Zen Stamping, or you can email me, zenstamping@gmail.com. I'd love to see it. Rude. So yeah, show me what you make, and that's it. That's all I have. So until next time, my friends, thank you for watching. Bye.